So off to work again. I did want to take the booster, but it's meant to be raining later, and I've still got that it's my new bike sort of thing about it, so I don't think I want to get it too wet at the moment. That will change. $1,000 past its MOT at the weekend, which was amazing. If you don't know about my 1,000, it's my Street Fighter project. It's got all the fairings off, it's got new headlights set up, new indicators. I haven't done anything with the tail end yet, but I will. But I thought I'd just stick it in for a cheeky MOT, and if it passed I can play on the open road. And it did pass, and about 5 minutes after passing, one of the back lights, because it's got two round lights, one of the back lights lenses fell off, and I discovered that the little fog lamp I'd put on it, which is the same as the ones on the V-strom, when you did full suspension travel on the front, that was hitting the front tyre, so that's got to come off. But it passed the MOT, so a couple of jobs to do on that before I can get out and have a play. And then carry on with the rest of the jobs, I suppose. Well, they're not jobs, they're playing with it, moulding it, shaping it. What are we braking for? Quite a nice little ride. Long time since I've stretched the old V-strom's legs. So I've owned the V-strom a little over a year, and I love it. I've changed my 750 in for a Hayabusa. I got rid of my 600 Gixxer for a 1000cc Gixxer, and the V-strom goes on. It's so, I don't know, I don't want to sound too much like an old man, even though I am. It's so practical, and it's such a mule. Some of the stuff I've carried with it, you know, a couple of tyres on the back. I've done me Oxfordshire runs with my full top box, and and I did the Peak District. That was a top box full of stuff, and my big top box full of stuff, and a load of stuff tied to the side frames, the pannier frames, and I don't know, it's just such a quality machine. It's had some real abuse. Yeah, I do oil changes sooner than I should. Well, that's a very personal thing, isn't it, oil changes? Because I give it so much abuse, I change the oil. I think I've done it sort of every 2,000 miles. Trying to think how many oil changes I've done on it. I think I've done 2, and obviously it went in for its first one at 600 miles. So it's had 3 services, and I think it's done about 6,000 miles. So yeah, it's had 3 services already in its short life. But as I say, I do abuse it, so I pay the price. If I didn't give it such a hard life, then obviously it wouldn't get the oil changes. It's never been in for its first major service with a valve check. I ran it in properly, obeyed the book, did the first service, kept it under the revs and everything, and it's going really well, and I love it. It's really comfortable, ideal for longer trips. I've put a few mods on it with I was going to say the traction control, but that would be a lie. Cruise control, that's it, not traction control. And obviously the heated grips. Just bits and pieces just to... You are shitting me. You was going faster than this round the fucking bends. That sun's not very user friendly. It's getting late in the year, later in the year. It's still summertime, but the old sun's getting a bit lower for the early mornings. So yes, and I have named the V-strom Donkey Lackluster because it is my donkey. It does. It is my load carrier, my main commuter bike, and lackluster because it's a little 650, and it's not the world's fastest or greatest. That's not to say you can't have fun on it. Badger. And I do have fun on it. I have loads of fun on it. Well, I enjoy biking, so I have fun on everything I ride. And sometimes I have more fun than other times. But if you're looking for a bike to do a bit of touring on, a budget bike, it's a Suzuki. They're all budget bikes. What I would say is if you're going to go 2 up with loads of luggage, get the 1000. They're not the most technologically advanced, but also that means there's nowhere near as many problems to arise. Modern electrics are brilliant, there's no getting away from that, but when there is problems, missed that guy. When there is problems, it's expensive, and you just don't have that problem with the V-strom. This is the older model. This hasn't even got traction control. It's got ABS, which again is a relatively new thing for Suzuki. My 58 plate Booster, that hasn't got ABS, so they were definitely late to the game. But yeah, how much of this electronics do you need? I mean, these modern bikes have got all the rider modes. I think if you get the biggest package on the BMW GS, you end up with, I don't know, 10, 20 rider modes. I mean, in reality, what do you want? If you're going off-roading, you want to turn your rear ABS off, and your traction control probably, or you don't want it. Or you just don't want it on there in the first place, because throwing a bike down with all these sensors and everything on can't do it any good, can it? I mean, the first couple of times it might be alright, but yeah, the the V-strom doesn't have that problem because it hasn't got any of it. The newer ones have got traction control. But I think that's what, another thing that appealed to me with the V-strom, it was just an honest bike. You got what you paid for. Does exactly what it says on the tin, which is not quite true. I don't think it's the all-rounder that the original tyres and that would have you believe. But I do love it. Yeah, so if you're in the market for an adventure style on a budget, can't recommend the V-strom highly enough. I like the duckbill at the front. Can you see it? I like the look of it, the feel of it, and it is just all day comfort.